Good morning, Oracles. Sorry for no video last night. I had to go into work for an emergency, so I apologize for that. So let's take a look at Tesla for yesterday. So yesterday we finished green. Wasn't great. We were over 900 for a little while, and then ended up trickling down over the course of the rest of the day to finish just above where we finished the day before. So still finishing around 881, still great buying opportunities for us right now. Volume was around 25 million shares trading hands, so about average. RSI is still about 38, so we're still relatively low, but we're still above the oversold range. So we do have some room to grow, but for the next week and a half to 2 weeks, we've got some uncertainty in the market. We've got some tech earnings still to go. We've got the FOMC meeting on the 5th and then CPI data on the 11th. So the next 2 weeks could be a little bit rocky still. We technically have that gap down to 801. We might potentially fill that. I do not know. But if we do, I know I'm going to be buying significantly heavier as we get down to that level. And so speaking of earnings, we saw GM and Ford put out their earnings over the last 2 days. One notable outlier from these earnings is the fact that Tesla was more profitable than both of these companies in the first quarter, despite the fact that both of them delivered significantly more vehicles than Tesla. So just looking at the numbers, Tesla had $3.3 billion in profit, Ford had $3.1 billion, and GM had $2.9 billion in profit. Now, GM delivered 1.4 million vehicles in Q1. Tesla delivered the 310,000. So if you extrapolate that out, and let's say Tesla had delivered as many vehicles as GM did, Tesla would have brought in $15.2 billion in profit, delivering the same number of vehicles. Now, we also heard from Ford that their plan for 2026 is to beat Tesla by delivering 2 million EVs. Now, I don't know about you. I'm not a math major, but seeing as Tesla is going to be delivering most likely 1.5 million vehicles at least this year, that means that in 2023, they will be delivering at least 2 million. So based on Ford's thoughts and their mentality is Tesla is going to stop their production and delivery of any growth in their vehicles until 2026 so that Ford can pass them. This is the mentality that's out there. And so obviously this is not going to be what the reality is. Things are going to change most likely, but there's absolutely no way that Ford is going to beat Tesla with 2 million vehicles delivered in 2026. And so just looking at the profitability of these three companies, we can see now firsthand right here how vertical integration is so vital to the profitability of companies. And so looking at, Ford and GM, even if they start to switch over to EVs faster, they're still not profitable in EVs. We'll find out in 2024 from Ford, seeing as they have separated out the two, and we'll get to see the difference in their numbers. But until then, they're still not going to be profitable, and I don't even know if they're going to be profitable at that point. So now we're really looking at these differences between legacy auto and Tesla. Now, yes, we've got the startups like the Rivians and the Lucids, but they're still in a very early growing stage right now. The legacy automotive makers have to cannibalize their ICE manufacturing, which, as GM showed, 1.4 million vehicles, those vehicles don't make squat in profits at all. So they have to eliminate a profitless business in order to bring up a definitely profitless business with their EVs and make this transition over. They're not vertically integrated like Tesla, so there's no way they're going to catch up with the margins. There's no way they're going to catch up with profitability. And Tesla is basically debt-free. Meanwhile, Ford and GM still have monster loads of debt underneath them. So let's look at this realistically. If Tesla has no debt, and Tesla is continuing to build their profits bigger and bigger over the next 5 years, who is going to have more money to be able to reinvest back into their business to grow it larger? Tesla. Ford and GM do not have the ability to do this. Even if they completely stripped away their ICE businesses right now and took all of that money and invested it into EVs, they still would have no chance because their EVs are not profitable, and that would be a huge loss to them, and they'd be basically like a grandiose startup company that still wouldn't be able to be profitable for at least 5 years. Now, I haven't had a chance to really dive into the numbers for either one of the other companies, so I don't know if there's any other business that's going on there, but I mean, profitability is profitability. The profits you get for a company is the money you get to spend to reinvest into your company. And Tesla is doing so with less vehicles produced, less vehicles delivered. So if Tesla can make significantly more money by doing less work, that is efficiency at its finest. And so where do we go from here? Well, the next 3 quarters are really going to show us how far Tesla is going to separate themselves from the competition. So Q2 may be the toughest one because they have Berlin and Austin ramping, and they've already said that due to, production being down in Shanghai, they probably will have even numbers to Q1 for deliveries. And then on top of it, they're going to have the ramp costs from Berlin and Austin that are going to be hitting them hardest in Q2. So let's take a look at the numbers in Q2, because if Tesla can beat profits for GM and Ford in Q2 with all of this on top of it, then that's just going to show that they are going to really take off in Q3 and Q4, and then there's no looking back, and they're just going to run away with the prize. And now just to switch gears a little bit, looks like the judge ruling for the Solar City acquisition back in 2016 has found no fault in what Elon did whatsoever, so Tesla owns Solar City, no questions asked, that case is closed. Now sliding over to the Twitter situation that we have going on, looking, and I'll check again, but there was no Form 4 filings for Elon for selling any shares. I know that there was a question on Tuesday because the stock fell so hard, so fast. It was very reminiscent of when Elon was selling back in December. So looks like there's no Form 4 filings. And if we don't see any by tonight, that means that the sell-off was just a massive sell-off, and it's just that. I've got speculation within myself thinking, maybe there was some Saudi interest in Tesla, and because Elon came out, with all this information from the SEC back in 2018, really kind of, not bad-mouthing, but kind of putting a bad taste in the mouth of the Saudis because they were kind of doing Elon dirty. Maybe they decided that they were going to sell out of all of their Tesla, and then, as we saw yesterday, looks like they purchased quite a bit of Lucid vehicles. So maybe that kind of played into this. I don't know. It's all speculation. But at least we can see that Elon was not the one who was selling. And so for any of you who are still possibly questioning what's going on with this stock, why is the stock price so depressed, remember, just take yourself out of this emotionally and realize that the stock price right now, with not just Tesla, but all of the companies that are out there, are being heavily manipulated all over the place because that's just the type of market that we are in. Really just focus on the fundamentals of what Tesla is doing. And just looking at the earnings between Tesla, GM, and Ford, we can see that Tesla is clearly winning with the formula that they have. They are more profitable by putting in less effort. So this here is going to win them in the long run. These are extremely strong fundamentals. And if the other companies can't keep up, they're going to end up falling to the wayside. And who's going to be there to pick up the scraps? It's going to be Tesla. They will pick up the pieces, add them to their own pie, and continue moving forward even larger than they are. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Tesla is going to be looking back at all right now when it comes to the profitability? Do you think in Q2, GM and Ford may sneak back up and take over Tesla? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.